All right. We are live. And let me invite you to join. All right, you see my, we are live on Facebook. And on Instagram, I just sent you, let me get this music off, 1 second. All right, you see my, we are live on Facebook. And on Instagram, I just sent you, let me get this music off, 1 second.
Oh, it looks like it's a little bit of lag, and it actually looks like, share video. I
just invited you again. You see the invite?
No. I sent you a request.
You did? Let me look.
Mm-hmm.
Share videos. Gotcha. I just invited you again. You see the invite? It says you're unable to join. One more time. Let me accept.
I
sent you a request.
It says you accepted. Look at us.
Okay. We are live. So, welcome. I'm Latonya Martin, the broker owner of Grand Style Homes, and annually I put together a wealth building summit just for the community to learn more about things that they possibly or potentially are interested in learning more about. So I always listen to the things that clients, past attendees are interested in and try to share more information annually. So today we have Dr. Tamika Hudson with us. She is a tax property investor as well as a real estate investor and real estate agent. Personally, I bought my first home at age 19, so I've been in the real estate industry for quite a while, from buying my first home to buying some commercial properties and some investment properties. But today I have a few questions that we want to ask Tamika because she will be attending our upcoming June 28th Wealth Building Summit. So I have a few questions for you, Dr. Hudson. The first one being, what's the big misconception people have about buying tax sale or auction properties? And what's the truth that they'll learn when they attend your session?
That's a really good question. And thank you for allowing me to be here. I am going to, okay, there you go. Because I feel like I could hear myself. I had an echo. Are you still hearing me okay? Okay.
Yeah.
I think the biggest misconception is that you have to be on the courthouse steps every second Tuesday of the month, this, that, and the third. And that simply is not the case. And so depending upon the county, you can very much take advantage of technology like in many other industries. And you can do this online, and it's still being registered online. It's still vetting you accordingly, but you are able to bid online. So caveat to that, I don't want to give too much away. We were talking before this. This is a trailer for the movie, not the movie.
Right.
But the caveat to that is, so Davidson County, yes, you still have to go on the stairs of the courthouse. So that's Nashville. The other market that I'm in is Fulton County in Atlanta, in Georgia. And yes, you still have to. But there are emerging markets that I really like to take advantage of, especially when you kind of take a look at your risk tolerance. You can get in a lot less. So those that are in greater Nashville area, what about Rutherford County, which is Murfreesboro? That's a really nice place. That's online. Montgomery County, Clarksville. That's an excellent place to look at purchasing tax sales, and you can do so online. Also provides a little bit of privacy, if you will. I have tried to auction on a property in person and been a Black woman and have my bid ignored for 15 minutes, the highest bid. And so it does provide a level of anonymity. And so we'll talk about some other things to safeguard so people aren't in your business about what you own. And it's a really nice way to be able to do that and provide some level of equity in purchasing the property, kind of a fair shake at getting what you want. So I prefer online. And so I would spend most of my time during during the summit talking about how to be successful in that way.
And you'll be able to share some websites and some actual
Yes.
go-to actions that you can
Yes.
literally implement the same day. So
Yes.
come on in the 10 and grab your ticket if you have not grabbed it.
Yes. It is a government website. Yep.
I'm excited. Share a success story that you or someone else that you've helped that has brought, just bought a distressed property and how it turned into a great investment.
Okay. The one I'm thinking about, those close to me would probably laugh that this is the one that I'm thinking of, because it goes against everything that I will be teaching individuals about during your class. So, yes, I bought low taxes. I typically don't buy properties that have low tax debt. And I'll tell you why during the class. I did not lay my eyes on this property myself. I had never done that. That's the first property that I did in that way. And I didn't set my maximum bid. And it was a purchase of emotion. And so I'll never forget, I was in the eye doctor for my son in the waiting room, and I'm a bidding. It was an emotional purchase. So this was almost 24 acres in on St. Simon's Island, which is we're going to get to the wealth part. That this was an island that was separate from Brunswick, Georgia. And so back when there were enslaved individuals, they were able to maintain a lot of their cultural customs, diet, food, culture practices, and things like that. And that was the Gullah Geechee individuals, if people are familiar with them. And it's just miles away from where the enslaved Africans, or the Africans rather, drowned themselves than to be enslaved. It's less than a mile from this property. Is marshfront land. I can't build on it. But what makes it really wealthy is that this is plantation land, and I'm able to leave my children, and it's 24 acres of water rights. So it's $1 million properties all around. And it's just something really beautiful. I can tell you about the commercial properties that I bought and how it had tenants and they pay me rent even during that process and all that kind of stuff. And that's absolutely a wealth generator. But it's something about that land. We're not making any more land with water rights, that I'm able to leave my children, and a part of who I am as a person and my value system. If you know me, I love slave narratives, and I love all things of the diaspora, before, after, all the things. And so to own a little bit of that and to leave that for my children. They've been on that land. They've understood what that is, that legacy in itself for me as well. So we'll talk about a lot about wealth, I think, at your summit, but there are different ways of looking at what is wealth to you. And at this stage of my life, I love real estate. I've been successful at real estate, but it's something about being able to leave that type of legacy to my children as well. It's really beautiful. And I feel rich because of it. So,
I agree. I agree. Real estate is part of the legacy that you can leave for your children and your family. So I'm definitely into investments in real estate, and learning ways to get things at a discount cost.
Yes.
Is always great.
That's always great. Always great. Yeah.
One more question. Why do you believe that now is the perfect time to learn tax sale strategies, and what will attendees walk away with that they can use immediately?
Okay. I think just in our political and economic climate, just kind of where we are, it's interesting. I had a conversation over the last 7 days with one was a real estate broker and one was a mortgage lender. Went out to lunch. These are two different scenarios, and the topic of bank-owned properties and distressed properties came up, and kind of forecasting what we're going to see, as the lender pointing out that even some of the funding, the relief funding that was present during COVID, how that is no longer, and people are having to rebound and pay 18 months plus of back payment and mortgage. Can most people do that? Can you rebound from that? Not only that, the the push for deportation of immigrants and a good population of the folks that we work so closely with that are working in those capacities and working as our subcontractors and things like that are terrified to come to work. And so what does that mean for development? Well, properties, even if they're paid for, so that's why we're back to tax sales, even just owing taxes on them, will developers who aren't positioned financially well be able to withstand the unknown in year one of this? And so you think about 2, 3, 4. And so just thinking about strategically, you hate to profit off of someone else's misfortune. So during your session, we'll also talk about um, self-assessment when it comes to these types of deals, similar to what you would feel if you're a developer in a gentrifying area. You have to do some self-assessment. So we'll talk about some of that stuff too. But the reality is there are a lot of investors, even kind-hearted investors, that are sitting on the sideline and they're waiting for a sale. They're waiting for a shopping spree, which is unfortunate, but it is the reality that we're in because of that economic and political environment. So what I would say, what you can take away immediately, even if you aren't someone that wants to try your hand in that, I think a lot of the folks that are attending your session, I could be speaking out of turn, are peers. They're real estate individuals, whether they're agents and brokers and mortgage lenders and these types of things. It sharpens your tool to understand how to understand this environment and how to best serve your clients who are going to have questions about that or may find themselves in difficult situations where just putting it on the market may not fit the bill. It might be upside down and it's just not making sense. And so for you to be able to walk them through, because you've attended this summit and you've gotten those additional pearls and tools that you put in your toolkit just to make you a more well-rounded service provider, if you will, to be more knowledgeable about how it plays out. But most people, I bet, are going to want to get there, try their hand at it, and they can. You can go online. I get notifications from all over the country. You can do it all over the country. I get them weekly. So you can use it really quickly. You have to set up an account, everything. So yeah,
So I'm excited. So this is going to be very interactive. You're going to be able to do some things right on site during the class to get started. So a wealth of information and gems will be given out. So make sure you're in the room. Be in the room. Go to wealthbuildingsummit.org and grab your tickets. There are a few $75 tickets left before it ends, but grab your tickets. Let's see you there. Wealth of information. So I'm excited because I love to learn. So I always want to learn. Whatever room I'm in, I need somebody to teach me something, right? Yeah. So your network is your net worth. Who you know, as long as they know more than you or know something you don't know, you can always learn. And the thing about it too is a lot of us may have information or know some things, but we've been afraid to go ahead and move forward. So now is the time. Now is the time. But thank you, Dr. Hudson, for coming on. I'm excited to see you on June 28th. And I'm sure we'll be talking to you before then. But thank you for joining us and sharing some gems.
Absolutely. Thank you. I'm excited. I'll see you soon.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.